over the last year, with John and Anna's leadership, we've sensed that God has been inviting us to step into a new rhythm of meeting. And so from the start of this year, and you might have noticed this already, we have been meeting at Bridge House every Sunday. Whereas before the default on the first Sunday of the month was to be out of the building, now the default is to be in the building. And we still love the church has left the building, and we're going to continue with it, but just not every month. We've explored various ways forward, and with the pros and cons of various courses of action, and we've decided that we will prioritise the events that give us the greatest opportunity to invite others along and to connect with people in our region. So principally that means Easter and Christmas, as well as fireworks parties. And these events are going to be signposted a long way out, and there'll be space for everyone in Vineyard 53 to either serve on a team or to invite others along. And our hope is that by giving these larger events more focus, we'll be able to make these events more fruitful and effective. But we're also going to be finding new ways to invite people into relationship with Jesus. We've actually just done that, trialling a series called Alive, and we're going to run that again next year. Alan and Alison are starting a church in Bangor, as we talked about, and we continue to push ahead with initiatives like Street Angels and Move In, Move On, which gives us lots of opportunities to meet those who don't know Jesus and serve them practically. And we keep looking for further opportunities too, because we remain a church who are relentlessly outward focused, all about that 95%. Inviting people into relationship with Jesus remains central to who we are. It's central, but the way we're expressing that is changing. And as we change to gathering here every Sunday, we think that God is inviting us to step into more opportunity for people to try church. We've seen lots of this recently. Actually, since the start of this year, there have been lots of people trying us out on a Sunday and visiting. You might be visiting here today, and we're so glad that you're here. And we want to make space every Sunday for anyone to join us and to try church, whatever their background or experience. We also think God's inviting us to step into more encounter with him. So from the youngest to the oldest, we're going to spend more time in worship and prayer and opening the Bible together. And we're going to see God do amazing things in our midst as we do so. We think the invitation too is to step into more consistency in our rhythms as a church. We kind of related to what I've just said, but we've noticed that our calendar can be a little bit complicated and confusing. And not everybody operates by the first Sunday of the month, the second, the third, and the fourth, which is like so ingrained into me at this point. But we think that our consistency is going to remove some barriers for people trying church. And it's also going to allow us to focus on our welcome and to try and help those trying church out to integrate into our community. And we're also going to step into more opportunities for people to come on the adventure with us. There'll be more space for people to grow in community, to develop and practice their gifts and skills as we gather together more often. That's what we think God's inviting us into. And we're in transition at the moment. We've met here on the first Sunday of the month a few times already this year, and you might notice that today is in fact the first Sunday of the month. And nothing we do on a Sunday, though, would be possible without the service of so many, and so thank you for all the ways that you serve. And over the next month, we're actually going to be celebrating teams together, so each Sunday in the What's On slot, there'll be a little story from a different team, just celebrating what goes on in this room and out in the welcome, but also in the kids and the youth spaces as well, because amazing things happen this Sunday and every Sunday. And it's right that we celebrate the teams, because we need each other as church, and teams is a practical way that we kind of feel and express this. But for the change to meeting every Sunday to be sustainable, we're going to need more people to step onto team. And so we'd like to invite everyone who calls Vineyard 53 home to prayerfully consider whether you could join a Sunday team. The invitation isn't to fill a slot in a rota. The invitation is into community. Teams are a great place to get to know other people. And the invitation is to pursue our vision together. It's not to don a lanyard and smile at people as they walk into church. It's to respond to God's call to throw a party for the lost son returning home. It's not to pour coffee and to chop up melons, but to step into and express a God-given gift for hospitality. It's not to entertain kids and youth for an hour and a half, but to step into a call to shape the next generation for Jesus. That's what the invitation is. And we do know that because of situations and circumstances, we won't all be able to serve on Sundays in this way, and that is absolutely okay, more than okay. We've all got a part to play and a place to play it. It's not necessarily on Sundays or in a role even as such. But we'd love to invite you all to prayerfully consider how God is inviting you to get involved. And finding your place may mean getting involved on a Sunday team. There'll be more information about this and how you can kind of say you're going to get more involved in the coming weeks. There's information on the website, vineyard53.org/every Sunday. And it's all going to be branded nice and bright yellow. Hey, every Sunday. There we go. And as I mentioned, we're going to hear from different teams and celebrate them as we go forward in the next month. So we have lots of opportunities to respond to this. But for now, I'd love to invite you just to prayerfully consider how you might get involved.